Some of the problems they're facing there.
Of course, Matt is going to bring us up to date with the weather and the situation around the whole country in a short while. It is now 8:14. I'm sure many of you will remember Harry Billinge, the 94-year-old war veteran who captured the hearts of millions of people when he appeared on Breakfast earlier this year.
Yes, he spoke about being among the first wave of troops at D-Day landings, aged just 18.
And he said he could never forget his comrades who lost their lives, telling us they were heroes. Now, his emotional comments won him admirers from all over the world. Millions have seen and have viewed that interview. And he's still working hard to commemorate his comrades. He's raised thousands of pounds for a memorial in France, and Tim Muffet has been to see him, head of Remembrance Sunday.
Thank you, darling.
Even for such a remarkable man, it's been a remarkable year.
There's about 35 quid there, Harry.
I'm overwhelmed, really, with kindness.
He's the best. You're the best. He's the hero. Nobody else.
The support you've had, has it surprised you following your appearance on Breakfast?
Yes, it has. Don't say I'm a hero. I'm no hero. I was lucky. I'm here. All the heroes are dead, and I'll never forget them as long as I live. Words can't say how much I appreciate. Well, everybody's so kind.
I've got Harry's photograph. I'm going to have it signed.
All the time, people coming up to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
I'll fill this tin by lunchtime.
Here we are. Saw you on the telly.
More than 22,000 troops under British command died in Normandy, so Harry aimed to raise £22,000 to help fund a memorial. At Parr Market in Cornwall, the donations kept coming.
It's nearly 30,000 now, I believe. I just put in another 2,000 last Monday. Thank God I'm able to do what I want to do here and collect the money for that memorial, because by rights I shouldn't have been here. I should have been killed on the beach. I was saved, I believe, by the grace of God for this purpose, and that's why I've got to do it. I must do this.
Remembrance Sunday is coming up. Will this year feel extra special given the amount of money you've raised and the support you've had?
Yeah, so the old tears will be there, and I do feel this. I get very upset. The poppy is a flower of remembrance, and it means a lot to me.
It's very important we don't forget. We don't forget what sacrifices these men made for us.
Where would we be without guys like that?
We like poetry, and I always think of that Wordsworth as oft as I lay on my couch. They plash upon my inward eye and sanctify my solitude. All these fellas, I can see all of them. Tommy Lemon, a bloke called Lazenby, and so many men that died in the cause of freedom.
Tim Muffet, BBC News, Cornwall.
Absolutely delighted to say that Harry is with us this morning. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm so delighted to see you again.
Everybody loves you since we met in Normandy.
I tell you, everyone loves you.
Wow.
You touch the hearts of many people.
Well, that's a very good thing for the memorial.
Well, it is, but you've campaigned tirelessly, and you continue to do so, to make sure that it is not forgotten, and that the men you fought alongside, who died alongside you, are not forgotten.
Well, what a waste of life, really. I was deeply moved when they sent me the brochure for this marvellous memorial on Gold Beach where I landed. And I told my wife I must get some money. So I did, and I've been doing it in the market in St Austell and in the town of St Austell. And it's a privilege for me to do that. And you know, when I'm doing this collection, I get a wonderful calm comes over me, because I'm doing something for the boys that never came back. What a terrible waste of life. Young men 18, all taught by a lovely country how to kill people. And when you've done that, you've got to live with it. Now, I couldn't do that. I couldn't stay in London. I had to get out of London, too much noise. And I had to go down the West Country, where I've been greatly and lovely treated. Everybody loves me in St Austell, and they've been very generous to me. There's no words to describe it. And I would like to thank today, because I might not get another opportunity, I want to thank 2-4 Commando in Shibboleth, Royal Engineers, soldiers, not Royal Marines, soldier commandos. And I'd like to thank my mate, Mr. Dan Newbolt. He got a Bentley, who took me all around the place in his Bentley, lovely heated seat, and he was treating me like a lord. And all the young bloke, Lee, who came from the ferry when I got over from Normandy, took me all the way down in his car to St Austell. And been to see me several times since, and took me out for the weekend with these lovely men. Another fellow I want to thank, because I thank him every day, he's called Andrew Duff. He lives at Parr. He comes in his car, picks me up every time I go to the market at Parr, and takes me there. At lunchtime he brings me a meal, and he takes me home at 3:30, and he spends an hour with me in my house having a cup of tea.
Harry.
Wonderful fella, and never made a penny out of it. Always free. And all freely have you received, freely give. When I was a child, about 4-year-old, I used to go to a little Sunday school, and the lady who was the teacher was called Miss Thompson. Now, that's over 90 years ago. But I used to sing a little chorus, and it was apt for the landing on the beach. And we used to sing as kids. From sinking sand, he lifted me. With tender hand, he lifted me. From shades of night to realms of light, oh, praise his name, he lifted me. Now, I never forgot that, and it's a very happy for me to remember. If I read something, it's there. I never forget. I'm unable to forget. I can't forget.
Can I ask, Harry, can I ask you a question? That so many people will see like your spirit and, you know, everything that drives you now. When you first came in here just a moment ago, and I'm thinking back to when you met Naga on the beach and you had that moment, the first thing you said to Naga just now was, I owe you an apology.
I do.
Why did you say that?
Well, she's a lovely person. She's very kind, a very good golfer. She's lovely. And I could see, I'm very sensitive, and I could see she would have been upset when I told her about. Nobody can ever describe D-Day. I've had a lot of what they call bullshit, and that's true. Nobody was there with any bayonet pressing up the sand for mines. The SAS blokes was there. Get off the beach, get off the beach. No one was on the beach, no longer they could help. And the fellas that was wounded even got up and got out of it to get to shelter. So I'm not a brave man, I'm lucky. I owe my life to the boys that I loved. All Normandy veterans love one another beyond the love of women. You cannot describe it. I love them all, and I never forget them. I'm going to see an old boy next week. He's called Des Battler. He's about the only bloke still living, and he's in a home. He came from Tarleheath, and he was our bloke who used to get all gear for 21 group of the Normandy veterans, of which I was proud to be chairman.
Harry, you've been, after we had that interview on the beach, so many people watched that interview. It went viral on social media, and you've had lots of attention as well to help you with raising the money you've wanted to for this memorial, to contribute to this memorial. And you began raising, you had a target, didn't you? 22,442.
That's £1 for every bloke that died on that beach.
D-Day. And you reached the target, brilliant, you're well on your way. But what you've been contributing to is a bigger memorial, isn't it? So all the names of those who died could be...
And the extra money we're trying to get is for the education for youngsters.
I want to show you something, because I know it's difficult, isn't it, when you're raising money for something you can't see it. If you look at this big screen over here, we can show you what's been done so far.
Doing it in Northern Ireland, I believe.
At Billinge in Normandy. This is it. This is what you've been raising money towards. And you've never seen this before.
No, never.
How does it make you feel? Because the work you're doing, it's now concrete, it's tangible, it's there, you can touch it.
Marvellous.
How does it feel, Harry? Okay.
Yeah.
It means so much, huh?
I'm all right. Tell 'em.
Take a moment, Harry, and people will be watching this, watching you full of
I can't help
respect
that.
for what you've done.
Yeah, well, I did it. Was it a job to do? All these fellas did a good job. All these men, these wonderful men. Young boys are 16, like Jack Banks, he's buried in Jerusalem Cemetery. 16, Dome Light Infantry. There's 48 blokes buried there in Jerusalem. It's on a Villas-Bocage Bayeux Road. They wanted to dig them up and put them in Bayeux, where over 5,000 blokes are buried. But the farmer gave them the field. I'll go there, believe it or not, every day. Somebody says, you want to go to Jerusalem, Harry? Oh, yes. And I get people to take me there. And I lay a cross on all those fellas' graves and a memorial, not every day, but the first time I put a wreath on the crosses there,
Harry,
the memorial.
one of the things you mentioned when you spoke about this memorial is education and how important it is that it's not forgotten. If you were to give a message to young people today, when it comes to making sure they know the history, but also the lessons learned, what would you say?
Well, there's a lot of youngsters come up to me and give me money for the memorial, but they don't, beyond all comprehension about the D-Day. I hope that they will learn to love one another. There's a lot of hate in the world, a lot of greed, and a lot of that's nonsense. Don't worry about that. When King George VI, my sovereign that I served under, all my medals here at George VI, was a wonderful man. George VI was a kind man, an understanding man, and he used to have a day of prayer. It's a pity, really, we don't have a month of prayer because we've got so much to thank God for. They have got no time for God, and I don't think we shall ever come round. Turn back, O man, forswear thy foolish ways. We've been stupid. We're so clever we could blow one another up. But you don't love one another. That's the strongest thing on earth. Love is stronger than death, and he's coming back. Our Lord Jesus said he's back, and he will.
Harry.
And it says in the Revelation, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. And that's what I believe too. I believe it. They mucked about with the creed. The Church of England has mucked about with all the services. They used to be, the Nicene Creed, that statement of faith, was drawn up 325 AD in the Council of Nicaea. It's therefore called the Nicene Creed. It starts off with, I believe. They've altered that now to we believe.
We're out of time.
Oh, well, that's all right.
You know, it's just the
Good job
joy.
with it. I might get arrested. My wife says to me, you want to be careful. But
Harry, it's been a real pleasure,
such a delight.
an honour to have you with us once again. Such
That's
a
very
pleasure.
kind of you.
Thank you.
And you, darling. My mate David Newbold, he's in love with you. He'll take you out in his Bentley.
OK, we'll have a chat about that a little later. Oh, Harry, thank you so
You're
much.
very, very kind.
Thank you for
I hope
coming
I
in.
didn't upset you this time.
You didn't. You've been perfect. Thank you.
It's been lovely.
Stay there. We'll take a little break and then we'll help you offset. It is coming up to 8:30. Find out what's happening where you are this morning. We're going to enjoy a little bit more of Harry.